Well, now to this, the body representing the solar industry, SAPVIA, says the relief offered to households in yesterday's budget will not have a meaningful effect. Individuals who install rooftop solar panels from March this year will be able to claim a rebate of 25% of the cost of the panels, up to a maximum of 15,000 Rand. Well, joining me now is Maloba Tshehla from the SAPVIA group. Maloba, thanks for talking to us. So, I want to approach it from this angle. You've done your research on what the average household adopts when it comes to backup power. SAPVIA has done that as a group, and if they indeed can afford to do so, if this incentive is, is this incentive accessible to the large amount of people you've surveyed in terms of what they use for backup power?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Devan, and good evening to everybody. So I think I'd first like to start with sort of rephrasing the position. Our view is that the incentive could have been more inclusive and broader. We do, however, welcome the move to incentivize this. There are a few things that we would have definitely included in this package had the industry been more widely consulted in coming up with this, including which the specifics of it are that the incentive is specifically for solar panels. Now, for anyone who's seen a PV installation, it's solar panels, it's a mounting structure, it's the wiring, it's probably batteries and an inverter as well. And so incentivizing only the panels is a fairly incomplete solution. But again, to your point around how many households can basically invest in a 60,000 Rand investment worth of panels to claim back 15,000 Rand worth of tax is a very limited set of households. And so for us, the position was this is a good move, but there is more that could have been done to ensure, like you're saying, that even lower income households had an option and had a facility or have a facility to also look into ensuring their own energy security.
What would have been an effective incentive for those households?
That's a good question. I think as we're seeing with, I believe it is the SEDA, Small Enterprise Development Agency, if I'm not mistaken, that's looking at a financial incentive for small businesses to combat load shedding. I think a similar process could be looked into to either say a larger tax break depending on, for example, and now I'm thinking off the cuff, depending on household income, to try and drive that kind of behavior, or some kind of finance product that could look at a household income and come up with a suitable financial product to install solar PV. As an association, and we've just come off out of our strategy session, what we want to see in the next few years, and hopefully, in the year to come, is financial packages that are as commonplace as a cell phone contract. So if you can afford 100 Rand cell phone contract, there's something out there for you. And similarly, we need this technology that is so mature to be available in that manner so that a household with X amount of disposable income can look at whether it's just a battery system. And then another household can look at a battery and inverter system that is future-proofing for when they can eventually, including the fact that it is the cheapest and quickest new generation capacity that we can bring onto the grid. So to incentivize it only for a year doesn't really speak to that longer term objective. If it was a multi-year sort of incentive, it would make more sense. And in that time, we could look at what is the uptake and sort of what is the balance between obviously tax collections and this uptake of new generation capacity. But 1 year is not very clear to us as to why. So we would have definitely advocated for a multi-year sort of tax regime, and then in that period do the work, do the research to find out what the uptake is and how we can sustain it.
All right, so we're going to have to leave it there, but thanks for those insights. It was Maloba Tshehla from the SAPVIA Association. All right.